They are building something unbeatable as Ivan Demidov is off to an insanely hot start to the season. It's more than just him that's going right for the Montreal Canadiens right now, as we have to dive into some incredible stats about not only Ivan Demidov and what some recent lifers and scouts have said about who his performance reminds them of, but we have a big update on Alexander Zharovsky, the Habs' top draft pick in this last draft class, as he reveals a lot in an exclusive interview. We got that plus much more, including a little outlook on the schedule, all coming up on this episode of Habs Digest. Welcome in to the Monday live stream. It's been a couple weeks. Glad we're back. We got channel members out the wazoo. Now, YouTube's changed their things, so I'm seeing your tags instead of your names, but I think I recognize everyone there. Where are you guys? We're here. Hello, Luke, Jason, Frank, Thibault, Mr. Clean, Simon, finally alive I can catch. Jesse, we're so excited to be back and at it. The new Wi-Fi is hopefully going to keep us alive for this whole time, but my goodness, I'm just so happy to not only be talking to our wonderful fans and a lot of our new subscribers over the past week, but also about just how good this team has been so far.
Well, there's just so much to chat about. We're just so happy to be live, uncut here with you on this Monday because there's just so many Habs players, especially these young guns, Josh, right now, that are just doing amazing things. Like when we get into this in just a moment, we start seeing like who these players are really competing and many times like beating, besting in the ranks right now. Like it is absolutely nuts. It's no wonder why the Habs are really doing what they're doing right now, but we're seeing that foundation that, it's also for years to come, Josh. It's really just the definition of being a Habs fan is just having your cake, eating it too. We're here just to celebrate that with you all here today on this Monday Live.
Oh, it's absolutely unbelievable. So while you're in here, hit the like button on this stream. You know how much it helps us out. Thank you so much for being here on this Monday. And we're going to start with something that's very interactive with the fans. We're going to get into Ivan Demidov and so much. Hey, but before we do, we got a re-up on the membership from Simon. Simon at Mr. Clean. It's Mr. Clean in the chat. Up and for 14 months straight, Jesse, at the Snipe Selly tier. Good luck tomorrow night with a 7:30 Pacific start. Yeah, there might not be a post game there, but Jesse, it's the fans, it's Simon, close to our heart, like you're pointing. Been with us for 14 months now as a channel member, and it just shows like how much passion not only Habs fans have for us in the show, but for this team, this community in general. It's a wonderful thing.
Absolutely. Time flying by. And we know how Simon has been really a pillar of this community as well. Just, so generous just in so many ways, giving memberships, obviously, just sharing the love in general. Simon, we've had the privilege to be able to meet you through our Rocket Richard tier. And obviously, thank you for your support through these last 14 months. We truly appreciate it.
Oh, it's unbelievable. It's so cool to have so many new fans, old fans, everything in between. My gosh, we got a lot of new subscribers last week, thanks in part to how good the team's been. But speaking of how good we've been, we're taking a look at the upcoming schedule right here. And we'll ignore that Kings game for now, that Remembrance Day game, because we're interested in asking you guys about the next 5. So I want you guys right now to look at these next 5 games. We got Seattle tomorrow. You see 12 a.m.? That's because it's Newfoundland time. It looks weird. I know. It's not actually Wednesday. That tripped me up. It's tomorrow night. But then we got Kraken. We got Senators. We have Flyers. And then the powerhouse duo of Devils and Mammoth. And if we just take those 5 games versus Seattle, Ottawa, Philadelphia, New Jersey, and Utah, how many wins do you think we're getting? What is our record going to be over that stretch? Jesse, this is so far going to be one of the tougher stretches of the season. Last game of a long road trip in Seattle, then coming home, quickly playing Ottawa, who's never easy to play against. Flyers are whatever. It'll be an interesting game. But then the Devils and Mammoth, who are like at the top, the only 2 teams that are currently better than Montreal in the standings. You see, Montreal has 14 points, the Devils have 16, and the Mammoth have 16. They're the only 2 teams that are higher than us in the standings. How are you feeling for this stretch? I have my prediction, but I want to hear the fans and yours as well.
I think you got to be feeling good about this stretch here coming up, Josh, but it's not an easy one here. You're having a lot, like even the Flyers, they're 4-3, like they're having a winning record. The Senators, like they're 4-4, like you're not having a team here that's having a losing record here. So this is going to be a tough stretch. But Josh, I feel like Dobes, we're going to get him in nets for those next 5 games. By this time next week, Dobes is going to be a perfect 10-0. No, Marky here. Of course, we know Monty is going to be there to chip in. I think this is a little bit of a tough stretch here because Kraken have been playing really good. Yeah. Flyers are playing and winning hockey. Utah's, ahead of their division right now. Got another division leader in the Devils for the Metro there. And we know with the Senators right now where, a lot of people had them ahead of us to start the season. But we know that there's a good young team there. But we're seeing the margin is quite thin this year. And maybe part of that could be, Josh, it's there's the young goalie for the Sens, Levi Merlinen. He's had maybe a little bit of a rough start to the beginning of the season. Whereas our depth in goaltending, Jakob Dobes, as we know, has been through the roof. And obviously, we know him going 5-0. Big reason of why the Habs are sitting where they are right now. To be honest, Josh, like, obviously, we're 7-2 right now on top of the Atlantic. It's fair to expect us to play some good stretch of hockey, because I don't even think we've seen the best, like, even offensively I think Nick Suzuki's putting so much like points like almost on autopilot, but like expect to see him flash and like really take control of games here over this stretch. Like if we're going 3-2 over this, like I know it doesn't look like the hardest stretch, but it's a little bit tougher than we realize. 4-1 would actually be amazing, but we know this team right now, like that mentality from Dobes, like they want to win every single game, and they're hot. And I do believe there's a world where obviously they can go up and down, for this series here, for these next ones. But if they can really get that 3-2, I think you need to be happy. But I like that the Habs are keeping their standards high, and us as Habs fans, we're gonna need to start getting used to kind of maybe having those same expectations as well.
Yeah, like it's interesting, right? Because I mean, I look at our record and I'm like, wow, we're 7-3. We're like right at almost at the top of the Eastern Conference, and I'm not used to that, right? Like I have to almost adjust my expectations to say, okay, we are so far one of the best teams in the NHL, literally third in the NHL. We're tied in points with the Avalanche, but we have more wins because they have 4 OT losses in 10 games, which is nuts. But still, so to look at that and to see all these other teams, a lot of them like the Flyers, Kraken, and Senators, these guys, Kraken are doing pretty good at 5-2-2, but the Flyers and Senators not in the playoff spot. I think you're right, Jesse. I think 3-2, and I'm seeing some people in chat say 3-2. I see someone, Frank, saying 2-1. If we can get 3 wins out of this, or should I say, if we can get 6 to 7 points, like six points, I think out of this would be very nice. 6 points over the next 5 games, because it's a tough stretch of games. Again, Devils and Mammoth, if you can win one of those games and you can lose the other, and you just lose one game between Kraken, Flyers, and Senators, you're putting yourself in a very good position moving forward. And there has been a lot of rest time, of course. Our last game was Saturday night, couple day rest on it, then a Tuesday night game, but then you do have to make that fairly quick turnaround in Montreal, but not really. Like the game is October 28th, and your next is until November 1st. Then you have a break until Tuesday, November 4th. There is time to rest, time to recover. So I want everyone to leave your predictions for the next 5 games down below. But the reason I think that we're talking about how good this team can be, Jesse, is because of our depth and how many guys are showing up so far. And looking at this is a list of every single player on the team that has at least 5 points or is at least half a point per game. There are 12, count them, 12 players so far this season that are on pace for 41 or more points. Right now, will that continue through the rest of the season? Probably not, but the depth scoring has been incredibly good. But it's not just that, it's the scoring from the stars as well. Now, you may have to pause, turn to HD, zoom in, but these are the NHL leaders. Nick Suzuki tied for second in assists with 11 with Mark Stone and William Nylander. Only Malkin has more with 12. Top save percentage, sole possession now goes to Jakob Dobes at number 1. At number 1, which is crazy. It was Dave Riddick, and I think he had a rough game. So now it's Jakob Dobes. Points among defensemen. Lane Hutson is only second to Cale Makar, and rookie points, we got Ivan Demidov at the top. We got Oliver Kapanen tied for 4th with 7 points, and that's not even including Cole Caufield, who was tied for 4th in goals, when really, like, it's closer than it sounds, because there's a lot of people with 7 goals, but only 3 people with more goals than Cole Caufield. Jesse, the stars are showing up, and right now, the top-end talent, combined with a lot of the other guys, like Newhook, like Matheson, like Bolduc, Gallagher, Slav, getting the job done down the lineup as well, is a huge reason why this team has started off so hot, and why we almost can't count them out of any game that they play.
And that's why the tide is really turning for the Montreal Canadiens right now. And these stats are really just a sign of it. But it's not just that, Josh. It's really like, again, how that's throughout the organization right now. Again, like we got goalies in Dobes, we got rookies in Demidov, we got defensemen in Hudson, we got forwards, obviously with Caufield, with Suzuki, and it's not even done. Like we got Kapanen who's entering the chat there. Like he's actually tied for first in goals too for rookies with 4. We got Hudson who's actually first in assists, second in point totals. First in assists though this year, which is absolutely like we're no longer just talking about rookies here with Hudson. Like we're talking about all D-men in the NHL. And like again, we're here on Habs Digest. We have a sole focus of giving Lane Hutson the respect that he deserves. In fact, we're not going to stop talking until he's there in the conversation every day, all day, with the likes of Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, etc. Because Josh, just rightfully, he deserves to be. And right, just what he's doing right now is just absolutely so phenomenal. And again, it's just showing that it's not luck. Like, we're getting used to this new success, but then when we're seeing all these numbers, it's like, oh wait, this is why it's happening, and this is also why this will continue to happen in the future as well.
Oh, it's crazy, right? And like, I feel like we could go on for minutes and minutes about, well, I would say hours and hours, but we only have limited time here in the live streams. Minutes and minutes, that much, hey? About every one of these guys who is performing. We got people in chat saying, with Cole on absolute fire, I'm pleased. He's really showing out. Completely agree, Rays. And Jason saying, one thing I'm looking forward to is what the PP will do in the next 5 games. And that's another thing, too. Again, you can talk about your top-end stars, but the power play unit is going to come into focus when we talk about Ivan Demidov a bit later, but absolutely, like, look, this is a revamped power play, and you're going to see some struggles, of course. This is a brand new power play, and then, you know, eventually they're not going to look as good as they do right away when other teams can't plan against it. But then again, maybe not. Maybe this power play will just look that good for so long, right? It's so interesting. But there's so many other guys we got to get into. But before we do, shout out to Daniel Holderick 4142. Welcome to the hat trick tier of membership. Thank you, Daniel. I see you already sending your Slafzilla emoji. Guys, I want all our channel members to send your favorite channel emote right now. I'm going to send my personal favorite one, which I think is Chef Hughes. Jesse, do you have a personal favorite in terms of the emojis? Hughes, Line A, Lane Train, Demigod, Suzuki, Slav?
I mean, I'm a Slafzilla guy.
Slafzilla guy, of course.
I'm spamming that in the chat.
Absolutely. So all your channel members, send your favorite ones. We got Chef Hughes, we got Slafzilla, and Daniel sending it saying, I love the vibe of this team right now. It's amazing to watch. Let's go Slav. And I wanted to thank Daniel, Jesse. Again, a big Slav fan there. So are we. And I think he's been off to an amazing start this season too. And, you know, a lot of the team's success, the power play, but mostly at 5v5 has been due to Slafkovsky's incredible chemistry with Suzuki and Caufield and his ability to win these puck battles and keep possession.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I love that he's just getting a little bit of respect, getting that confidence early on. Like, he wants to shape like that narrative too. Like, there's other things he wants to improve on his game, but that's the first thing. He needed to improve on his starts. And then there's other things he wants to get to, but he needs to take care of that, get his monkey off of his back, you know, right now. And I feel like exactly he's just doing exactly that, which I'm just so happy to see. He's impacting the team in so many ways. Yeah, I feel like really is more still to come, but that's really the great news. This is obviously combined with, you know, what we're seeing with Dobes as well, which again, like, so much comes down to like goaltending at the end of the day, like a breakaway, like a 2-on-0 and you're on Dobes, and is he going to make a crazy glove save or is that going in? And that's changing the dynamics. Like, that's why Dobes, again, like, I just got to highlight him. There's so many young players, but like that, how pivotal like that goaltending position is just so huge. I want to just take this time on the live to just shout out Tim Crouchman, who like years back was saying how good he felt that Jakob Dobes would be. We're reading those comments. We see it, you know, and if we see these things years later come into fruition, we're definitely going to be giving you that shout out there. Absolutely just incredible what he's doing right now for this team. Again, just giving so much confidence. Nobody quite saw him like usurping Montembeault so early on, but like Josh, we did see the signs last year, right? Like we saw that potential. It's just that kind of that floor needed to raise along with it. And now it's just nothing but good vibes for Dobes and this team right now.
100%. He has been so good. And we got a lot of people sending their emotes, but we do have a chat here saying emoji de Dobes qui endort l'adversaire sur son matelas. I think that'd be hilarious if this could be an emote in the future. The thing is, maybe I'd put it vertically. I don't know. But hey, to unlock more emotes, we do need more channel members. Like, we only have a certain amount of
great
emotes.
Idea.
Yeah, it's a great idea. So if you guys...
Wonderful idea.
I would love that. I mean, like, I think I'd be spamming it. Wouldn't you, Jesse?
Every day, all day. I mean, how can you not? Like, Dobes, he's just one of those lovable guys, right? And just how we can have that balance again. You like, that's a secret to success. He's staying calm in the net, but at the same time, bringing that fire, bringing that brick wall, you know? So just like Hudson, like Demidov, they have that balance of being, you know, like obviously just team friendly type of guys, but also, we can tell they got their fire in them as well.
Absolutely. Hey, if you guys want a new Dobes emote, look, we're going to need some more channel members to unlock the new emote slots. But hey, if that's what you're up for, we'd love to do it. But thank you so much for tuning in. But I do see Canadian Dude and Oz. Good morning. Good morning to you. Great to see you here. 211 watching, only 37 likes. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Let's get that like number up, guys. You know how much we love to hit 100. Now, that's a big goal. Let's start with 50. There's only 12 likes away. Look, if you like this video, this stream, Montreal will beat the Seattle Kraken. But if you don't click the like button, they will probably lose. So I'm just saying, you don't want to be the one that is at fault for the Habs losing, right? I'm just saying. I mean, it's one click. Now, thank you so much for being here. Seriously, you don't have to do anything. Hit dislike if you want, if you're not enjoying. But, you know, at the same time, we just love having you here chatting with the fans. A lot of really, really nice emotes coming in. We got the Suzuki and Brad Marchand emotes in there. Those are not popular ones, but Hackdog is loving them. I love that too, but you're right, Jesse. I mean, Jakob Dobes has been so impactful for this team. And you know who's a guy that's going to be really impactful in the future? A guy that we really got to talk about? It's Alexander Zharovsky. Like, I know we talk about him a lot. It's starting to feel like Ivan Demidov last year. Like, every time he did something good, we had to talk about it. But he did something good every single day. Whoa, there's Simon Desjardins with the $2.79 donation saying, Dobie emote. You know what, Jesse? That might have to be the next priority now. Thank you, Simon, for that. Unbelievable. We got Dobes on the bed and his good play obviously go together. This might have to happen very soon.
We're going to need to get on that, work on that. Yeah, post haste for sure. We needed the Dobie animation.
Yeah.
That's really for sure here. You know, it's only right with his play. It's like once you have a certain threshold to play with the Montreal Canadiens, I think it's really only right here, you know. So yeah, our boy's doing it all right now.
Absolutely. I'm never going to get tired of that. It's amazing. Anyway, someone said the Dobes emote with the, oh yeah, song play. I think you said something similar, didn't you, Jesse, when we were talking about bringing
I said exactly that.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I love, see, we're on the, we need to make it happen.
It's got to be done. Okay, well, thank you so much, Simon, for getting us toward that Dobes steer of that emote as we get back to Zharovsky. But yeah, I mean, we love talking about Dobie around these parts. But the thing with Zharovsky is that, like, again, it's feeling like Ivan Demidov last year, where every time he did something good, of course, we got to talk about it. He's one of our top prospects. At that time, Demidov was our top prospect. I don't know if I'd say Zharovsky is, just with the likes of Xhekaj and Fowler, which is crazy to say that he might not be our best prospect with the crazy stuff he's doing in the KHL. He'd be a lot of teams' best prospects. But let's just take a look at what he's done recently. Player of the week, well, rookie of the week in the KHL. 16 minutes average time on ice this week with 2 goals in 3 games. He has been on fire, now on pace for 50 points, 22 goals in 61 games, 9 points in 11 games so far for Salavat and Ufa. He has been unbelievable right now. And if we take a look at some quotes, wrong guys, from a recent RG article, one thing Alexander Zharovsky said, every game he feels better and better. There's less fear, hesitation. There are moments where I need to calm my game down. There's always some room to grow and improve, especially when it comes to finishing chances. But the big thing to me, Jesse, this feels like a shot at Roman Rottenberg, even though it's not. He said he really feels trust in his coach, Viktor Kozlov, giving him chances on the power play 5-on-5. And if he makes a mistake, he's not getting benched and sent down to the minors, and he's getting great advice. With his performance recently, Jesse, Alexander Zharovsky, like, again, we say it all the time how Montreal wanted to pick him with one of the picks that we traded for Noah Dobson, and we got Dobson and this guy. I'm excited to see what he does when he can come over in the league in 2027, but right now he's off to a better start than I think we could have ever expected in the KHL.
And the comparisons to Demidov just continue in like some very real and meaningful ways for the Montreal Canadiens, some that we're just absolutely going to love, which just fits our culture, Josh. Like, and that's one of the main things is that really for our boy Zharovsky is that like he just loves hockey. Like that's his motivation. He's a guy, he's first at the rink. He's the last one off, like definitely makes you think of Demidov and also Hudson there. And just the fact that like, apparently we're hearing from Viktor Kozlov that he's just like a team first type of guy. Like he says, you can put me on winger, you can put me on center. Like, I don't care. I just want to do like wherever I feel like I'm going to benefit the team. So we know with Zharovsky, okay, we're dealing with skill. Like we've seen that's quite apparent. Mm-hmm. But then now we're seeing like, okay, he's coachable and he just loves the game and he takes like what his coach is saying and he's quick to adapt. And that's just really so much of the game here. So again, we're just looking at like so many things. If you're Martin St. Louis, if you're Ken Hughes, Ivan Demidov, I mean, players on the Habs, like just so many reasons to really be excited about Zharovsky, about what he can bring. Obviously, he's coming for a visit just this summer. And at this point here, obviously, it's just a visit here. You know, Ken Hughes is probably going to want to give him a little bit more time just to let him marinate. But again, like skill-wise, like he's looking very, very close to being ready there. Again, you know, just following like in the steps of Demidov, though, just like in so many ways, Josh, like the comparisons, like they continue. Even like during his first 10 games in the NHL, he's got the same point totals as Ivan Demidov. 8 points as well. Like, again, some huge notable things that we're seeing right now where this pick just turns out to keep getting better and better for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, somehow it's crazy. Like, absolutely looking like a first-round talent so far. Looking like people missed on him, whether it was the Russian factor or that uncertainty factor of the MHL. Similar thing to what happened with Ivan Demidov. But I bet you now, after him, like, look, I know he's far from a sure thing to be a star at the NHL level. I think it'd be far too early to predict that. But the signs are there, right? Like, he's looking like a really solid prospect. And for whatever reasons, these GMs were passing on him, and even for GMs to pass on a guy like Ivan Demidov, maybe they're going to have to reevaluate. And that's why the Habs have that step up, that leg up, I should say, with Nick Bobrov, who's scouting these guys incredibly. So really, really good stuff from Zharovsky. But before we get any further on that, I got to shout out the super chats here and the memberships. Bob Gomez, 9249, with the $2.67 donation. Thank you so much, Bob. Leave some love to Bob there for sending in that donation. Slav breakout year has begun. And I think we'll go back to Slav just for a second here, Jesse, because I think that's a very good point. I think right now we're hoping to see both halves Slav. First half Slav's kicking into gear, and you know one thing with him, yeah, he has 4 goals, 5 points in 10 games, on pace for 41 points, but you gotta think that with his 5v5 play being what it is right now, the points are just gonna start coming. He's gonna start getting bounces. He's gonna start picking up way more assists than he was, because he's way better at getting assists than this in the past couple of years than this year so far in terms of just numbers. And I have to imagine those 5v5 points are gonna shoot up, and even now with the new power play and Demidov on it, that could really help too.
Oh, that's going to be a huge factor. And we also have to consider, Josh, like as the season goes on, the games are just going to get tougher and more physical. And that's exactly where a place like Slafkovsky can really thrive. But it's him kind of getting his own game right, so that when you get into those type of games where that's the type of kind of play that's required as they kind of inch closer towards playoff hockey, that Slafkovsky knows he's ready for the moment in order to best be able to serve this team, like getting ready for it kind of ahead of the moment and not waiting to play that type of playoff physical type of hockey, which we know is just so key for Slafkovsky to be successful. Like what he's doing right now, again, like we can't underestimate it. Like just because the player knows what they need to do to get better doesn't mean that they're going to implement it and that game plan's actually going to come to fruition. In fact, we see examples really all the time. Obviously, there's high expectations when it comes to a first-round pick, but like it's just looking every single day. We know like Shane Wright's play is kind of elevated there, but like for our team and what we've needed, I think it's really safe to say that Slafkovsky was the pick. And again, that was a little bit ahead of the grain, you know, like against the grain rather for Kent Hughes. Again, just showing that visionary way of thinking right from the beginning, which again, now like a couple years later, this playing such a huge role. Like we needed somebody who has like that physicality, but also that skill to play on the first line. You can't feel like out of that draft that there was a better fit than Juraj Slafkovsky for this team.
I completely agree. And while, you know, other guys, like you said, are doing great, like Logan Cooley's off to a great start in Utah. You know, Logan Cooley's an awesome player. But at the end of the day, he wouldn't have meshed with this first line the same way Slav does. He would have been, you know, the 2C, and it would have been great as well. But like this Caufield Suzuki line, they wouldn't be what they are without Juraj Slafkovsky. So there's so many X factors here. I think you're right. We absolutely made the right choice. Want to shout out to Kevin from Halifax. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Kevin. Great to see you back here. Luke saying I'm from Halifax too. And after that, Luke upping for 12 months. Full year. 1 year for Luke 9056. Thank you so much, Luke. Again, we had Simone for 14, Luke for 12. We got to say, Jesse, the fans are loyal, and we're sticking around these weekly live streams, minus last week. That was okay, though. It was a hockey game that night. But, like, we're sticking around all year round, daily videos, and you know what? It's incredible to see so many fans who are not only here for 12 months, 14 months, but here from the start, still tuning in every day. It's amazing.
For the long haul. And honestly, like we truly do appreciate the support just in so many different ways here. We really feed off of it. Obviously, we got a lot going on in our lives as well. And if ever I'm not able to make a video, like I have a family member close that is battling, you know, some serious health issues. That's the only reason if ever sometimes I'm not able to be here. We do appreciate your support and obviously everything that you're doing because we have other things going on in our life, but we appreciate this community and obviously all the support that you've shown us through the years. So just thank you for really being there for us and just everything that you've done over the years. You know, we truly do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Like I think you guys who tune into this and support us with even just chatting, like let alone super chats and memberships, like I don't think you realize how much that helps us do what we love doing here. So thank you so much for just even being here, even if you're not commenting, even if you're just watching, enjoying on your TV, phone, whatever. Thank you so much. A year is crazy, unbelievable stuff. And we got another super chat here, Jesse, coming in even more. K-Moon79 with $2.79. Fitting for K-Moon79, Slaf unlocks the best version of Nick and Cole, and I am loving the Juraj Slafkovsky love, because it was not long ago that people were looking at those point totals and it wasn't as obvious what he was bringing to the table. But to start off so hot this year, doing what he's doing, Jesse, it's visible now. You're seeing him at the top of these game scorecards. You're seeing it in the game, how often he's just going into a board battle when he's trailing someone and somehow still winning the puck. It's been unbelievable. Daniel, our new channel member as well, said the points don't tell the story. The impact he has when he's on the ice is so obvious. G.I. Joe, what a team. Welcome to another live Habs stream. Smash the like to keep the streak going. Go Habs, go. Absolutely. Is that Joseph Donovan? I think that I don't like that YouTube changed these things, because I was used to your old names. Maybe I can change this back. Maybe it's a setting, but they completely overhauled their whole stream interface. But thank you everyone for being here. But it's absolutely Slavzilla's coming out to play, and no, I completely agree. Thank you again for the donation, but I think that's the biggest thing, Jesse. It's Slav, like you said, is that missing piece that fits with Suzuki and Caufield to solidify us having one of the best first lines in hockey.
And not just that, but really like our entire top six, because if we look beyond Nick Suzuki and Cole Caufield, not a ton of physicality in that second line, you could say, of Newhook, of Kaiden and Demidov. So really Slaf is representing something really important on that top half of that lineup, of really providing that physicality again, which I think is so important, getting there on the forecheck. Obviously the skill to go with there again. He's not a one-dimensional player by any sort of means whatsoever. Sometimes you feel like we're talking about a goon, but no, this guy has some skill as well. It's just about really bringing that to the table. But again, just considering our overall roster makeup, really important to have that physicality, not just down on that third and fourth line, but also in your top six as well. So Slav's completely just holding it down for this team right now, and it's obviously just bearing fruit all around.
It absolutely is. It's so cool to watch. I find myself just more than last year. There were games last year and the year before where I was like, oh, that was a really good game from Slav. He won a lot of board battles. And now it's the norm. Now I see him storm in the corner. He's 10 feet behind a guy, and I'm like, he's probably going to come away with that with the puck. It's crazy, right? And those things don't show up on the stat sheet. The work he does to free the puck, to give the Habs extended time in the O-zone, that's it's stuff that you won't see on the stat sheet, but it's stuff that makes a huge impact. So shout out to Juraj Slafkovsky. A couple of little chats. That is Joseph Donovan. Yeah, no, I know you guys didn't change your nicknames. It is your account, so good to see you here. But maybe there's a setting I can change to revert this back, because I want to see the old names. I don't know why YouTube does that with your official handles. And one other question here from Noxious saying, any thoughts on Monty? I'll spare the thoughts too much on Monty, Jesse. Maybe before we move on to Ivan Demidov, all I'm gonna say is Jakob Dobes has had a great season, and I know Monty is better than what he's shown this year. Here's the thing. If Dobes takes over the starting job, great. But Monty is not as bad as the numbers show this year. And we have a big sample size of what Samuel Montembeault can be. And so I think that just, if Monty could even turn into a good backup, which is kind of what I think people would have expected when we first got him, that could be great too. As long as this tandem in general is getting wins, I'm not worried about Montembeault. But obviously, if he stays at this level of performance, then we will have an issue. But I just don't see that being the case.
Yeah, and he normally has underlying stats, which serves to show that he probably will rebound. There also is the fact, Josh, that we know that goaltending is one of the most volatile positions in all of sports. Yeah. And sometimes that's why there's sometimes hesitant GMs to give out longer term and more kind of more money for goalies. It's why they're criminally underpaid a lot of the time, is because they know that there sometimes can be a lot of variance from year to year. And while Montembeault has put up a good stretch recently, which you have to feel the numbers will come back at a certain point, it does serve to show that there can be that variance from time to time. And that's why it's just so important that we are having somebody like Dobes. If that sort of situation does arrive, again, if we didn't have Dobes playing, imagine we have Kaiden Primo and, Dobes hasn't arrived like he has, and Primo's maybe not, doing his job. That's, again, 10 points that maybe the Montreal Canadiens arguably are maybe not having there. So just really such a huge difference on this team. But again, still feeling we have a workable tandem here, and that we will call on Montembeault. I believe he will be ready, but very interesting to see the shifting dynamics. We didn't quite expect to see this so soon, but as we're starting to think about this, we're starting to realize, Josh, the signs were there all this time for Dobes that he absolutely could be a game breaker for this team.
Yeah, it's crazy that we're talking about him like that, but we already saw that stone cold demeanor from the start. He's a big guy. He just needed to work a bit more on his chaos and his positioning, and those have been the two biggest things so far this year. He's way more calm in net. He's not giving up as many rebounds as he did last year. What is there not to like? He's controlling the play. He's absorbing a lot more pucks than he did last year, and that is something that's not easy to learn. So really excited about Dobes. Frank saying, my hot take was that Slav was going to have a down down year. Thought process was that he'd start slow and Demidov would take a spot in the first line. I'm glad I was wrong. Hey, like, I think that's a fair take that some people thought Demidov might just be that good, but Juraj Slafkovsky has proven us wrong. Daniel, the newest channel member with 50 Swedish kroner. Thank you so much, Daniel. I believe that's about $7-8, something like that. Thank you so much. I mean, that's incredibly generous. I love Dobes, Demi, and Slav doing well. My Eastern European boys. Absolutely, and I'm so excited to see these guys. We're about to talk about Demidov in a second, Jesse, but yeah, I mean, the Habs, like, we do have a bit of a Quebec factory on the team right now, but our European players are really showing off for our team, making a big difference.
Yeah, they are. And we are one of the teams with actually, I believe, the most North American players in the NHL. But the fact that like our guys from Europe, obviously Kaiden being a huge example right now, what they're doing for this team is just, again, so huge. Great to see that development is going so well overseas, whether that's with Zharovsky, Kaiden, etc. there. So again, just some great scouting, I think, ahead of time, but that development, that communication that they're having with management right now, I think is a huge factor in all of this.
Absolutely. And shout out to so many channel members in chat. Canadian News in Oz saying Slav's work ethic is great. Joseph Donovan, he's just in a slump for Monty. Absolutely agree. Mark Orr, wonderful to see Mark every single time. Hello, all you awesome Habs fans. Keep the faith and go Habs, go. That is Mark Orr's classic line. So great to see you, Mark. Always great to chat with you. Really looking forward to chatting with you soon as well on a nice Zoom call. Jason saying we need Monty to come through. Dobes is a first-year player, won't be able to play 60 games plus playoffs, and Monty's been a bit unlucky. I see another chat. I think that's the case. Like, we'll see him bounce back. Look, I mean, once we get to a certain, like, if we're at 10-12 games and Monty hasn't bounced back, then you might start to worry, but we got time. We got lots of time. We're going to see who he goes out against, and our defense is going to try and do a little bit better job as well. But time to get into our final guy, Ivan Demidov, because right now, there's been so much talk about him for good reason, and he's a front runner for the Calder for a reason. And now, sportsbook odds do have Matthew Schaefer tied with him, but we don't listen to those. We listen to our hearts, and as Habs fans, there is no one higher right now than Ivan Demidov, but we could really have three guys in that Calder race, like yesterday's video talked about, Jesse, with Demidov, with Kapanen, and with Jakob Dobes. And look, if you want Ivan Demidov to win the Calder, leave a like on this stream. We're almost at 100 likes. Thank you so much for being here. Like, that would be a huge goal for today's stream. Really, really appreciate it. And there was a recent article linked down below, as always, in the description, from Eric Engels, polling scouts. Demidov draws comparisons to NHL greats past and present. And he went around asking some scouts, some NHL hockey lifers, different people, what they thought of Ivan Demidov. And there was a lot of names that came up when he was asked about player comparisons. Someone said, oh, there's some upside similar to Mitch Marner. Some people compared him to Kuznetsov. But there was one name that was out there more than the rest, Jesse, and it was Pavel Datsyuk. And this is just one section of the article I took. An anonymous hockey lifer said, Demidov reminds me of Pavel Datsyuk, and not because of his skating, which is interesting, but really because of his deceptiveness one-on-one and his ability to create space for himself and his teammates. And we can't forget, Pavel Datsyuk was the highest scoring player on a cup-winning Detroit Red Wings team, over a point per game for many years on one of the best teams in hockey, one of the best teams of our lifetime, I would say those Red Wings were. And Ivan Demidov is getting comparisons to him, to Kucherov, to Marner. And Jesse, to see these guys who have been around hockey their whole lives, who understand what it is to rate a player properly, the fact that we're getting this now, look, I'm not surprised necessarily because of what he's doing, but it is almost like a shock sometimes to see how good other people are saying a Habs prospect is, because I'm almost not used to it.
He's our Kucherov, and dare I even say, like, he's our Datsyuk. I'm loving those comps right now. And the fact that these are both guys that won multiple Stanley Cups, which, again, like Demidov being a team first type of guy, again, it's a dream situation. Like, we are so lucky in Montreal have somebody so talented, but then he's like a team first type of guy as well. Like, that's what it takes to really have winning teams that don't just win it once, but like year after year, which is really what it's shaping up to right now. And again, he was being called in this article already one of the best and most skilled playmakers in the NHL. Like, already, again, he's just a couple games into his NHL career, and he's just completely separating himself from the competition, just in terms of like how dynamic he can be. Other parts of his games are really coming as well right now. But Josh, it's really like the 1, 2, 3 punch right now of like Demidov, Suzuki, and Hudson on the power play, which is just so hard to stop right now. It's just too many playmakers, and then too many guys that can finish as well, because like Demidov and Suzuki, they're equal parts finisher as well. And for Demidov, best believe we're just going to be seeing more of that. That's when he's going to shine the most. So it's really hard to figure out. Like Hudson, like was again, he's normally pretty humble, but he couldn't help but kind of share. Like, yeah, when you're facing like Demidov and Suzuki together, like it's pretty hard to stop. Like, what do? You just kind of like stay back and hope they don't see you, because we're just looking to go cross ice, just, past that Royal Road, like as many times as possible here. And obviously we're just seeing the effect that it can have already on this team. I mean, I just love the confidence he's getting. Like, so much hard work is put in, but you feel like it's just at the tip of the iceberg. He has a 3-point night and he says, like, I'm not quite happy with that. Like, who's that make you think? Like, that's the Gretzky, like the best. That's only them that, like, they ask, like, they have a great game and it's like, okay, but, maybe the team didn't get the W, or I could have played better. Like, that's the type of mentality that really separates, like, the boys from the men, and Demidov is really just showing, what type of player he truly is right now.
For sure. And I saw a chat earlier, I forget who sent it, apologies, but they said, like, what I love the most about our prospects is that at every level, these quotes that we're getting, everyone is just focused on winning. Demidov, like, 3 points, could have done better. We just wish we're glad we got the win. Lane Hudson, we've seen that. He took less money. I mean, that is the proof is in the pudding right there. When you take a discount, that's what it is, right? And then Alexander Zharovsky saying these things, I just want to do the most I can to help our team win. When he was asked about getting the Rookie of the Year trophy in the KHL, he doesn't care. These guys just want to win. And Ivan Demidov, like, again, these comparisons are crazy. Like, it's amazing to see what people are saying. Datsuk, again, you're throwing out names like Kucherov, like Marner, like these superstar level players, but then you also give him, like, hey, look, he's starting to look good on the defensive end as well, and his shot is actually pretty good. And these guys, a lot of them were asked, like, what does he need to work on? And a number of them said, look, his shot, and I understand this was deflected off the skate, but it's something he has been working on, and this was pulled before this game happened against Vancouver, so it's absolutely insane. But I gotta go back to the chat here now, because we have a lot of chats, including a super chat from Luke, the brand new 1-year member. Luke, $5, thank you so much. Luke, the playoff experience, particularly the recent postseason appearance, was invaluable for our young core. I completely agree, Luke, and I think that'll have a big impact on Demidov. And you look at the stats again, in his regular season career, 11 points in 12 games, 3 goals, 2 assists in 5 playoff games, but again, they both came on the power play. Like, he looked really good on the power play in the playoffs. He adjusted so fast to that playoff style of hockey, and even this year, after a slow start for a rookie, I mean, not really, but, like, you could see he's gonna get the points eventually. It's like he learned so fast, and that's something I think we saw with Lane Hudson. Took Slav a little longer, like it does with bigger guys, but so many of our guys seem to learn so fast. It was a trend with Hudson. It seems to be something with Demidov, and to have that playoff experience going against a physical Washington Capitals team under your belt, to know what it takes to play at that level, is going to be so good for him, not only in the regular season, but once we finally make it back to the playoffs as well.
Yeah, that precedence is so important in sports. Like, that knowledge and that experience gained throughout it, especially when you're a player that has tons of potential in Ivan Demidov. Now you're just, okay, get him in the most situations that's going to, like, bring it out of him too. Like, how can we just accelerate his learning the quickest? And absolutely, you're right. It's like the playoffs, and for Hudson and for Demidov as well. This is really how you maximize on the potential from these young players. So again, when we start talking about, like, serendipity with the Habs in terms of, like, so many good young players, but then this team first mentality, and they're able to somehow, like, sneak into the playoffs to now accelerate the development, to pay it forward for this year, to set the platform to win 2 straight Calder's, 3, 4. We're going Fowler, we're going Zharovsky. Yep. We're getting excited here. We're getting carried away, but, like, we just know, like, where this can kind of go. Because again, like, what they do is now setting a platform for these other players to come, and so on and so forth, and what this team is capable of, what they expect. Really, as a result, with players like Xhekaj coming in as well. Obviously, Fowler is such a big part of this. So again, it's just so huge, again, how it's really that team first mentality, and so small little difference, which again culminates into just this massive leap, at a certain point, which has really just, been exponential for the Habs in terms of getting to where they want to go, earning those type of kind of experiences and chances, and really making the most of them to help improve this team.
I like how you said earning those chances and not just getting those chances, because that's really what we've done. And the hard work this summer, the guys being together so much earlier than so many other teams, like, they were playing together, practicing together more than I've ever seen any Habs team do it before, and they all love to do it. They're all buying into this team first winning mentality. They deserve it. They deserve the start to the season. They deserve to go back to the playoffs. And you're starting to really see that tide shift, and NHL fans are like, man, I was hoping I was wrong about the Habs, but oh my gosh, like, this team is crazy. Now, again, like, you know, at the end of the day, we do need playoff success before you can really, say anything. Like, you can look at any team, right? The Leafs, they had talented rosters, they never had playoff success, but I fully believe this team can do it because we have a great mix of size and grit. For the people out there, there's some people that still say, we don't play a playoff style hockey because, one of our best players, or a couple of our best players in Hudson and Demidov and even Suzuki are not really like physical guys. They all do incredibly great work, and they're insulated by guys who can be big and physical, like a Juraj Slafkovsky. We even got Kirby, Dach who's a bit physical. Josh Anderson's still there. We got some size on the back end, like Noah Dobson. There's a lot of great stuff right now, and I can't wait to see what happens. And we got another donation of 20 Swedish kroner from Daniel. Thank you so much again, Daniel. What a stream from you, saying you can't force culture, you have to build it. They did, and I don't think it gets any more succinct than that. I completely agree, Jesse, and the culture is a big reason why we are where we are.
For sure, and wanting to win. That's really the X factor in the playoffs. Again, sometimes it just comes down to that. It's who wants it more, as Martin St. Louis likes to say. That ball's in the room. Who's going to get it the other day? That applies for individual players, but that also applies to a team as a whole when you get in the playoffs of who's going to really win it, even the regular season, just to get in. So that's that type of kind of, dog, mentality that this team is really embracing right now, which I think is so important with the skill and with the positivity. It's sometimes the get up and go, and there's no cutting corners, and we need to put in the work. And again, that's what this team has just been dedicated to doing, and just seeing the growth, along the way, obviously from everybody's just been phenomenal. Not only like what we're doing, but really the way that we're doing it in.
Absolutely. The way we're doing it is so fun. Like, you can't count us out. We're the most exciting team to watch in hockey, if you ask me. And, we were going to end it there, but we got a great message from fellow YouTuber, wonderful friend, Hockey Junkie, coming in saying, "Hey, boys, great to see you, Hockey Junkie. Awesome that you're here. Got to answer this question. How about fellow Newfie, Alex Newhook, on pace to crush last season? 7 points in 10 games, playing well with the rookies, and looks great killing penalties out there. Gotta love it." Yes, you certainly do. Listen, our boy Alex Newhook, turn it up. I wish I could blast this music. We got to keep it low so it don't bother you fellas. Listen, walking around the streets of St. John's here, I tell you now, everyone loves Alex Newhook. Friends, family, we all love him around these parts, Jesse. And Hockey, I'm turning into the Newfie for this segment. Hockey Junkie's absolutely dead on. 7 points. Not only getting that offensive touch finally, working well with Kapanen and working well with Demidov, but he's killing penalties, and that is maybe the biggest thing for him, that revolutionizing his game, similar to what we did with Josh Anderson, who, has been off to a slower start point-wise. Newhook's getting points. He's being an impactful player. He's finishing more because he's getting better passes. And also, he's out there killing penalties. I mean, what else could you possibly ask for? I have loved his season so far. And what a worthy little note from Hockey Junkie to end this thing off. Because I think, for as much as we praise pretty much everyone else on this team, like, I think even we could do with some more for Alex Newhook, who has really been off to a great start.
I mean, that we got love for Newfoundland, for Hockey Junkie, for Alex Newhook here on the channel. In fact, was my candidate for breakout Habs player of this year. You just had to feel like put him in the right type of situation right now and he would thrive. And I really said having him on that third line, which I know right now with the way that the Habs lines are kind of separated, it's hard to determine what's second, really what's third there. Again, Newhook just with the right type of players is really just thriving. Again, I'm just so happy to see him succeed because it's never been like for lack of effort. He's always just putting himself in those right places, but that finish to go along with it. Again, just providing so much pace for the Montreal Canadiens right now. Just phenomenal in what he's doing. He's just been such a big part. You had to feel like there was always so much more there. And just the fact that he's kind of tapping into it right now, it's just showing that potential of really what this Habs team can do when players are clicking and really playing to their potential.
Absolutely. It's been unreal to watch this team, everyone playing their role. It's absolutely great. And one final super chat for the stream, Simon Desjardins saying 279. I see Hockey Junkie saying loves it too, loves Alex Newhook. Dobie or Monty tomorrow? Quick projection, Jesse. I think it is going to be, I think it's going to be Dobes to end off this trip. Monty might get the next game, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't Dobes, I think.
Yeah, no, I think you got to go with Dobes there. Again, surprising that they're opting to be this aggressive and really competitive in terms of like who they're slotting in for these goaltending positions. I absolutely love it. Again, like we're not waiting to game 40, 60 to kind of feel like we need to get in the mix. Like we're realizing every point, every game matters. That's how they're approaching it this year. It's showing in their selections who they're really putting in those different slots. So a big change in the mentality, even from last year. Again, we're shifting from development and now it's showing we're getting more into that competitive window. It's showing by these selections here. Got to feel like the team's having a lot of confidence in Dobes right now. You have to feel like he'll be getting the start.
Absolutely. I'm excited to see it. Well, listen, that'll do it here. And I did want to address address something. I see Omni in chat, channel member saying, what happened to the fantasy draft? Yeah, it has been well and done. He said he didn't see anything. Look, I made 3, 4, 5 community posts, some members only, some public, even opened it to the public for a final spot. And then I did live stream the draft, so it is right there in the community page of the channel if you want to go see the post. But sorry you didn't get in. But look, hey, well, there'll be more than that coming next year. So thank you for showing your interest, regardless, and thank you for being a channel member. Really do appreciate it. But listen, that'll do it for this one. See, someone said Luke said Alex Newhook should be named Old Hook on that line. I actually kind of like that a lot. That's pretty funny. GI Joe saying cross check that like button, Hockey Junkie. Absolutely. Listen, thank you so much to everyone who tuned in, and thank you, Omni. I know we don't want to exclude anyone. I'm really genuinely really sorry you couldn't get in, but maybe we can do something else. We'll try and get something else for our other channel members coming up this year, some more members only videos. But wanted to sincerely thank everyone for being here. And even smash them beers, says Rays. Your name now Rays. I know your old name, but now I'm seeing Rays. But anyway, any final words before we end this one off, Jesse?
Just obviously that we appreciate the support and from all you good, fine people just so much. Obviously, it's an amazing ride, but just gets that much more exciting when we can get here on a Monday live and just kind of chat it up and just, celebrate all these wins right now that's going on for this team, what's going to be happening here in the future. We appreciate, your insights, your commentary here as well, the viewers coming into the chat. So thank you guys again for making this just such another fun Monday night.
It has been an incredible Monday, incredible season so far. Make sure to hit that like button on the way out. I don't think we'll get to 150. We're close, but hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Fine. Oh, they're doing it again. I was about to do the outro, but we got a super chat as I'm doing the outro. It's been a while since that's happened. Cut me off mid-outro. Ruined my flow, but I can't complain. Bob Gomez saying, fellas, Zharovsky, 176.37 pounds. KHL site this season. He's gaining weight, Jesse. That's a big thing for him. I mean, look, we saw how skinny he was draft night. That's 10 pounds up already. We heard he's been working. Look, he's getting pretty close to that NHL playing weight. I'll just say that.
The height's there for sure. Par for the course. You normally see these guys fill in, develop, start getting that young man strength there. So yeah, absolutely. All the signs are there. Like, this is a big boy, and the fact that he keeps getting better, not just a winger, but he can maybe play center. I don't know. I like the thoughts of maybe a big 2C and behind Nick Suzuki there in the future. We're going to have options, Josh. It's obviously just a treasure trove of just riches right now for the Montreal Canadiens, Zharovsky being a huge part of it. I can't wait to see what he's going to be doing next.
I can't wait either. It's going to be amazing. Ethan coming in right at the end. Hello, Ethan. Jason Patrick team. Remember your homework, boys. Dobes emote. We don't have an emote slot available. Unfortunately, we're going to need more channel members if we do want to unlock it. But hey, if you know anyone that might be interested, let them know. If we unlock a new emote slot, we have our #1 priority, and it is a Dobes emote, and it will get made. I promise you it will get made. But thank you so much for tuning in. As always, if you enjoyed, hit a like and make sure you subscribe on your way out. We got a lot of brand new subscribers, hoping to bring a lot of them into these streams, these videos. Thank you all so much for tuning in every single day. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.